everyone, welcome to Vlogmas Day 12. As you can see, I had a really nice, slow, sweet start to the morning, did a little Pilates, and I am all dressed and ready for the day because today is live show day. If you know me, you know that I am the brand manager at Now Marketing Group and I am the host of our monthly live show, and today is live show day, so I'm so freaking excited, and I figured today would be the perfect video to pull the curtain back a little bit and talk to you guys about what goes into hosting a live show, how I prepare for the live show, and all that fun little nitty-gritty stuff. So before we dive into it, let's go make some breakfast.
Merry Christmas!
So, my amazing toast is made. I decided to just start with one piece for now. So let me give you the toast verdict. You guys, this is like my favorite combo ever. Avocado with some shaved almonds and balsamic glaze. Oh my gosh. It's so good. Oh my God. I'm gonna eat this while I do some work, and then we're gonna talk all about preparing for a live show. Oh my God, that was so freaking tasty. So good. And I'm just getting so excited for the live show today because it's gonna be a really good one. It is the last live show for 2022. We do a monthly live show and it's our last one, and I have been so excited to have this guest on. His name is Rich Brooks, and he's gonna talk all about this thing called the Remarkability Formula, which is really helping you discover what makes you remarkable. And I just think that's such an important topic, and as we're all getting ready to end the year, we're reflecting, we're thinking about what we've done, achieved, accomplished in this last year, we're looking ahead to the new one, and now is such a good time to tap into what makes you unique. You can find ways to bring that out in your life, in play, in work, in everything, because that's what makes life exciting, right? And it's how you find the right people to connect with, to work with, just to build relationships with. So it's just so exciting. And this live show has been something that I have really fully gotten to own in my job. My boss, Jessica, basically gave me this live show and she was like, it's yours to host and yours to figure out. And so I figured I would share with you guys a little bit of what goes into hosting and planning a live show, because there's a lot that goes into it. The first thing is really thinking of the flow of the show. And so we knew we wanted to do a monthly show. And so I took a lot of time to look at other shows and think about what kind of flow I thought would be a fun and engaging kind of flow for a show. And that's how I landed on the flow that we have for our show, which is we start the show off with our little introduction and then we dive into some social media news. Our goal of the show is to be a voice and a sounding board for social media marketers. And so having that goal in mind before you even think about your flow is really important, so that you make sure the flow of your show achieves the goal. So our goal is to provide this kind of laugh and learn. So we share news, then we give some shout outs, spread some love, and then we bring on our expert guest. We do a little interview with them. I think of a whole bunch of questions that I can ask them so that they can provide a lot of value to our audience. And then after we do the more informative educational side of things, we play some games with our guests. And that is super fun. It is more of the pulling the curtain back, getting to know the guest from a more personal side, and just having a lot of laughs in the process. So that was the first thing I had to do, was figure out a flow. and then think through the topics. Since I knew we'd be doing 12 shows a year, I wanted to make sure to have a really good variety of topics and guests, both internal guests, people on our Now Marketing Group team, and external guests, industry experts. So taking a look at the people in our community, taking a look at the topics that I knew that we would want to dive into, I then came up with our ideal guest list for the show. So I had a topic for each month, and then based on that topic, I decided who does it make sense for me to reach out to see whether they would be a good guest to speak on this topic. Once I got confirmation with the guest that the date and the time worked for them, then I start prepping all the show notes. So I write up all the questions, I find the specific news articles that we're going to talk about for the show. I go through and look at our internal Now calendar to see are there any things that we want to make sure we're shouting out, letting people know about that is happening. And then I make all the graphics, do a promotional email, promotional social posts. We make a promotional short form content we post on Reels, where it is me talking, Andreas talking, who's my co-host, and then we get a clip from the guest so that we can do a little promo for the show. There is so much that goes into a live show. And so I figured it would be helpful if you are thinking of incorporating video more into what you're doing for your business. I thought by pulling the curtain back and sharing with you guys everything that I do for the show, it would help you to think through, number one, whether a live show is something that could be useful for your business, and two, the reality of what it would look like to create a show, host a show, manage a show. It's a lot of work because also we have a teammate behind the scenes who's always doing the community management and engaging with our audience in real time when the show happens. So it is definitely a full team effort and a labor of love. It requires a lot of energy to show up for, and that's a whole nother thing too, is like I have a whole ritual of what I do to prepare and get ready and get in the mindset for the show. So I'm gonna go do that because it is showtime and not too long. Okay, so as you can see, I am all ready. I've got my mic, my camera, my ring light. We are all set. And now we cut to the pre-show dance party.
Funny how the story goes, little hope but bigger dreams. They try to bring a sucker down, singing louder than the crowd. Listen the rhythm, I'm feeling brand new. Keep pushing forward, it's gonna save you. Never look down, love, not when we shine so bright. The sun is getting warmer, but when we soar away among the clouds.
So before I dive into the live show, I wanted to do a quick little bookshelf tour. I had a Instagram follower of mine be like, we need a bookshelf tour. And I was like, that's such a fun idea. So I wanted to point out a few books on the bookshelf that are just my absolute favorites that I highly recommend. These two right here, What to Do When It's Your Turn by Seth Godin. Incredibly inspiring book, as well as Tools of Titans. Tools of Titans is a great coffee table book. It's a book that you could literally pick up, flip to a random page and read it and gain some value. I love books like that. So absolutely love Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. He basically has hundreds of people chime in and share tools, strategies, things that they use and love, and he put it all in a book. It's amazing. This and that shelf are mats. So I can't speak to those, but of these, I'll kind of pull out a few favorites. So Tribes by Seth Godin. Absolutely incredible book. One of my all-time favorite Seth books. As well as Linchpin right here. I also love this book, The Sun and Her Flowers. It is a poetry book. Unbelievable. The book Do Over by John Acuff. I admittedly haven't read it yet, but it has been high on my list and I cannot wait to read it. The Four Agreements, The Mastery of Self, and The Power of Now. These three books right here, all incredible. The Mastery of Self and The Four Agreements are Don Miguel Ruiz, and The Power of Now is Eckhart Tolle. Absolutely love, love, love those books. And then on my bottom shelf here, honestly, I only have a few favorites on the bottom shelf here, which is The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. That's another book that you can literally just pick up, flip to the date, and read it. So you know what, that's what I'm gonna do that with you guys. And then I absolutely love and swear by the book Nonviolent Communication by Rosenberg. Don't remember the first name, but it is an incredible book that will change the way that you communicate with everyone in your life. It is truly unbelievable. I can't recommend enough Nonviolent Communication. So I'm gonna flip to the December 8th entry for the Daily Stoic, and let's read it together. The entry for this one is "Don't hide from your feelings." And the quote by Seneca is, "It's better to conquer grief than to deceive it." And here is what the page says. We've all lost people we were close to, a friend, colleague, parent, grandparent. While we were suffering from our grief, some well-meaning person did their best to take our mind off it or make us think about something else for a couple hours. However kind, these gestures are misguided. The Stoics are stereotyped as suppressing their emotions, but their philosophy was actually intended to teach us to face, process, and deal with emotions immediately instead of running from them. Tempting as it is to deceive yourself or hide from a powerful emotion like grief by telling yourself and other people that you're fine, awareness and understanding are better. Distraction might be pleasant in the short term, by going to gladiator games, as a Roman might have done, for example. Focusing is better in the long term. That means facing it now. Process and parse what you are feeling now. Remove your expectations, your entitlements, your sense of having been wronged. Find the positive in the situation, but also sit with your pain and accept it, remembering that it is a part of life. That's how one conquers grief. Oh, what a good entry. Running away from the negative feelings that we feel, whether that is anxiety, grief, sadness, it doesn't make them go away. It just shoves them down and usually ends up strengthening them so that when they do come back, they feel even stronger and harder to deal with and louder. And if you know me, you know that I am a huge proponent of feeling your feelings as they come to you, of giving yourself the space and the grace to process your feelings and to not judge yourself for it and to accept it and to not label it or attach some meaning to it, right? Like, it's so easy for us to feel sad and think that's bad. But feelings are just feelings. When you strip the labels from them and strip the judgments, they just are what they are. And the more that you look at all of them as neutral, the more that you can sit with them and feel them fully. Because feeling them fully is going to be what lets them pass through you. And sadness will pass through you just like happiness passes through you. And I just fully feel that the more that we give ourselves permission to fully be in those feelings and experience them fully and not try to run from them, the richer and more beautiful life is. So that is my rant for the day. And honestly, this feels like the perfect place to end this vlog here. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do, hit the thumbs up and be sure to hit the bell and subscribe so you don't miss out on Vlogmas Day 13. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. If you know me, you know.
It's just a border. But when we're floating up like helium.